Hey everyone. So I thought I'd put a quick video together just to kind of walk you through the Maya scene file that you'll be using for your homework this week. Um, when you open the file, you're presented with Norman, and he's sitting lonely at a table, pondering his woes over a pint. If you scrub through the animations, you'll notice he throws back his drink and then kind of returns to his pose. Now, when you play this back, well, one, you'll notice it's a bit slow motion, but we'll cover that in a second. But if you play it back, one of the things that you'll notice is that it's looping. So it's kind of him just doing the same thing over and over again. So the idea is that you guys be putting your own flavor in, and then what I could do is actually tie your animations back to back seamlessly, which I thought would be kind of cool. So let's talk about the slow motion thing. This is not uncommon. Like when you're doing animations for characters, you're not always going to have a rapid succession of events, right? So you're going to have sometimes you're going to have this spans of time between extremes, and when you have that, the in-betweens look like they're kind of going in slow motion, like what you see here. That's one of the reasons that it's really helpful if you right-click on the timeline and you click on Enable Stepped Preview. Then what that does is it skips the tweening. It plays the time, but doesn't worry about playing the interpolations between the between keyframes. So now if I play it back, you'll notice that he's just sitting there. And then when the keyframes come for him to toss a drink back, they just play. Now this is really handy because now the key thing that I really wanted to look at is, am I giving Norman enough time to actually drink what's left in his glass? And yep, I mean, to me that's enough time. He's already been at it, so there's probably not much left in his glass. He's just kind of sitting there finishing it off. But that's really one of the really great benefits of this Enable Step Preview, is that as you add these keyframes in the enabled step preview mode, you can better gauge the timing of your movements. Do you have too many? Does it make sense? Is the difference really jarring? So these are things that that's a really great tool that I'd like for you guys to use in this homework assignment. One of the other things that I want to point out is obviously you've got preview mode, which you can go in and work on work all of the controls in the Norman rig. But over here in the channel and layer editors, you'll notice that there's a camera layer. When you guys render out, I want to make sure that you render using the render camera, not the perspective view. And I think I've pretty much got that set up for you guys, but on the off chance something gets screwy, that is a requirement for the homework assignment. And I've locked it down so you shouldn't be able to move it, but if you find out that you can, please don't. So the way you make sure that you're rendering out of the camera is when you click on the render settings, then you go down to where it says renderable cameras, and normally that's set on perspective. So you change that to render camera, and it should be set up for render camera automatically. And then of course make sure it's full 1024, and then you can click close and then do the render. So if the geometry gets in the way, then you can always, well, maybe not the glass, but you can take the scene geometry out and not worry about it. But you got to make sure to put it back in when you render. So I think that's really about it. Norman, the rig is the same as you're always used to working with. If you do have any questions, feel free to post on the workspace page or send me an email. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll talk to you later.